Welcome to the City of Markham's and the community's Black History Month event. My name is Joanne Kenya Baker, and I'm the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Specialist at the City of Markham. And today I am joined by my co-host, Adisa O'Brien Thompson, who is a member of the Mayor's Black Youth Liaison Committee and is making her debut as a leader today in co-hosting this event with me. We're really excited and we have quite a bit of a packed agenda today. So enjoy yourselves, kick back and relax, say hi to each other in the chat box, and we will get this rolling. But before I do, I want to invite Adisa to share a land acknowledgement for the City of Markham, and we will continue with our program. Adisa.
Good evening, everyone. We begin today by acknowledging the traditional territories of Indigenous peoples and their commitment to stewardship of the land. We acknowledge the communities in the circle, the north, west, east, and southern directions, and Haudenosaunee, Huron-Wendat, Anishinaabe, Seneca, Chippewa, and the current treaty holders, Mississaugas of the Credit Peoples. We share the responsibility with the caretakers of this land to ensure the dish is never empty and to restore relationships that are based on peace, friendship, and trust. We are committed to reconciliation, partnership, and enhanced understanding.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Adisa. And if there's folks who are attending today that are not in the Mississaugas of the Credit area, please feel free to share your land acknowledgement in the chat box, and we will continue to support you in acknowledging the land on which you are standing from today. Well, this event is actually a partnership between the City of Markham, MACCA, the Markham Public Library, and the Mayor's Black Youth Liaison Committee. So thank you so much for this incredible collaboration that we have with our partners today. And with that, I would like to invite the CEO of the Markham Public Library, Catherine Biss, to bring her greetings today. Welcome, Catherine.
Thank you, Joanne, and welcome everyone. We are delighted to work with the City of Markham and the groups that Joanne mentioned to host tonight's Black Inspiration event in celebration of Black History Month. At Markham Public Library, we value inclusivity and accessibility. We have the ability and we believe a responsibility to bring people and knowledge together. Throughout February, Markham Public Library celebrated Black History Month with cultural and educational programs that honored Black heritage and created opportunities for connection and dialogue. Hosting tonight's event provides an opportunity to showcase the diverse and very unique voices of our community. Tonight, you will be inspired by our featured guests, as well as by the accomplishments of our local community. If you're looking for further inspiration after tonight's event, I invite you to visit our website at markhampubliclibrary.ca, where you will find many recommendations for books, ebooks, streaming movies, and more by Black authors that highlight the Black experience. And to kick off the program tonight, I would like to introduce our Mayor, Frank Scarpitti, and invite the Mayor to share his greetings. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Catherine, and great to be here with everyone as we continue celebrating Black History Month in the City of Markham. It's an opportunity for us to come together once again to recognize members of the Black community and truly continue the celebration. And I know I'll formally introduce her in a minute, but I also want to welcome Minister Mary Ng, who was able to join us as well. And fair to say, I think all of us know this already. Black history is Canadian history. And there is a history here in this country, and we want to make sure that we continue to celebrate it, the contributions made by members of the Black community right across Canada, but certainly closer to home here in the City of Markham. And you've met Adisa, who's an incredible leader. Joanne, I think you said she's getting her debut, I think through the City of Markham, but she's been active out there, and I'm just so proud of her and other members of our Black youth in the city of Markham. And it was really the youth that decided the theme for this year's Black History celebration. And the theme is Black Inspiration, Making History. And certainly our youth in this community are making history. We're very proud of them, the contributions that they make in their schools and their community organizations, in places of faith. They truly are providing leadership throughout the community. Now, this month, we're taking the opportunity to introduce you to members of the Black Youth Liaison Committee. And this is an incredible group of 8 trailblazers. And I have to tell you, it's been a real pleasure for me to meet them and to hear their individual stories and to hear about their involvement and what they're working on. They are proactive, they are engaged, and they really are inspiring all of us to think about issues in a different way. And you'll meet, you've met Adisa, and you'll get a chance to hear from other youth in the program a little later on. And of course, I want to say thank you to all of the other speakers and the performer tonight, and of course, our keynote speaker, Tiana Ridley Padmore. I look forward to her message later on in the program. Now, I also want to let you know some exciting news that we're making great progress in updating our diversity action plan. This is a plan that's over a decade, that's been around for over a decade, and we're updating it. It's entitled Everyone Welcome, and it's a wonderful opportunity now to update that plan and make sure that it's relevant to many members of our community. And I want to say a special thank you to members of the Black community for actually kicking off the consultations that we had to update the plan, and obviously participate in subsequent sessions as well. We hope to endorse the plan later this year, but already there's some central themes that are emerging around allyship, social cohesion, and harmony. And I'm very proud to say that we've also made significant progress on Markham's anti-Black racism strategy, including the establishment of the Mayor's Black Youth Liaison Committee, which is up and running. All of us here at the City of Markham, our council, and I thank the members of council that are here, our staff with our Chief Administrative Officer, Andy Taylor, but throughout the organization, I can tell you that we're committed to advancing all of these initiatives. That is, as it is the right thing to do, but it's also aligned with the significant declaration by the United Nations earmarking the years 2014 to 2024 as the decade of people of African descent. Earlier this year, I had a chance to reflect on the fact that Lincoln Alexander would have been 100 years old this past January the 21st, the day named in his honor. Now, he was a lawyer, and he's remembered for many firsts: the first Black Canadian member of Parliament, the first Black federal cabinet minister, and he was appointed the province's 24th lieutenant governor. He was an outstanding Black Canadian who fought for racial equity. Now, as strong a voice as he was for the equal treatment of Black Canadians, he had an equally strong voice about the virtues of Canada and how anyone could do anything if they set their minds to it, even with the country's imperfections. As the Mayor of Markham, I want to congratulate all Black leaders who are recognized for doing what they've done because they set their minds to do it, and we're going to honor them tonight. And I thank you for being a shining example for all of us, what it really means to be a change maker, to be an inspiration in our community and beyond. And I want to thank everyone for taking the time to join us this evening for this important celebration. especially those leaders that are being showcased tonight for the great work that they've done. And now I'd like to invite our local member of parliament for Thornhill Markham, but also the Minister for International Trade, Export, Promotion, Small Business, and Economic Development. I thought they'd make your title a little shorter, but I think it's actually a couple more words have been added to the title, Minister. But I just want to say thank you for the great support that you've given the City of Markham, and in particular our Black community. And I know I think today, despite the fact I've been in meetings all day, saw that you had yet another initiative to support Black entrepreneurs in this country. And I just say thank you for the great work that you're doing here at home and the great work that you're doing across Canada with groups and also our many international trade partners. So welcome, Minister Mary Ng.
Well, thank you so very much, Mayor Scapidi. It's so wonderful to see you and Andy and many of the councillor colleagues who are here, and everyone from the community. It really is wonderful to be here and to celebrate Black History Month. We are doing it virtually, but I hope in not too long we will be able to do more of these in person. But let me also take a moment to acknowledge that I'm speaking to you from many traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Chippewa, and the Wendat people. And for those of us who are settlers or even immigrants to Canada, it's important to recognize that Indigenous peoples have always been here and that we all have a role to play in reconciliation. So happy Black History Month. This month serves as a time to honor the legacy and the accomplishments of Black Canadians, both past and present. The mayor talked about Lincoln Alexander, and there are, that is but one, but of so many worth celebrating. Our government remains committed to learning from Canada's past and to working with Black Canadian leaders, organizations, and communities from coast to coast to coast to build a better and more equitable Canada. Black Canadians have helped to shape our community. Events like this one today just reiterates just how diverse and inclusive my riding, certainly in Markham Thornhill, but across Markham really is, and how this diversity really contributes to the strength of our country. And I know that the City of Markham has continuously been just a leader in our community, highlighting Black excellence and promoting amazing culture and heritage, particularly tonight through the incredible work of young people. I love this year's theme, and I love it even more that it came from our young people, and the theme of Black inspiration, and that you're making history. It is really just so fitting. Last year, our government launched Canada's first ever entrepreneurship program, which I have the responsibility for. And if you allow me, I just want to take just a minute or two to talk about this very, very important program. It's one of a kind. The mayor is right. Earlier today, I did make an announcement about this program, but this program came to be because of direct consultation and listening to Black Canadians. And we published a report called What We Heard, which you can find, of course, in the Government of Canada's website. But what we heard clearly from Black Canadians was that what was needed was a program by Black entrepreneurs for Black entrepreneurs. And the three barriers that Black entrepreneurs face were access to data, access to capital, and capacity building. So to unlock that capital, access to lending, which was just so important. And we know that there have been systemic barriers. So the Government of Canada launched a Black Entrepreneurship Loan Fund. It's $160 million, and Black entrepreneurs can get loans of up to $250,000. And now millions of dollars have already gone, actually tens of millions have already been dispersed from that fund. And that fund is us working with financial institutions. As well, for over a year, we've had some transformational conversations with Canada's major financial institutions, so Canada's banks. And I believe that what the work we have started is fundamentally changing the way our country is supporting Black entrepreneurs. I was very encouraged to see just very recently that as a result of those conversations that took place for well over a year, that banks like the Bank of Montreal, CIBC, the RBC, they've all announced programs. They've all announced what they are doing to unlock hundreds of millions of dollars specifically for Black entrepreneurs. And this, of course, is in addition to what the government of Canada is doing. On the issue of data, we launched the Knowledge Hub. So this will conduct large-scale quantitative and qualitative research for Black entrepreneurship. The data will inform government on our decision-making and policies for years to come, and I believe it will level the playing field. And finally, the issue of building capacity. We launched the Ecosystem Fund, which is what I did today. Today, I announced an additional $24 million and 10 projects as part of this ecosystem fund. And right now, the program actually, it is another first of its kind. It's historic. It's $100 million that was co-developed with Black business leaders across Canada to address systemic inequalities that Black businesses and entrepreneurs have faced for far too long. So from coast to coast to coast, this fund will enable Black business organizations to deliver tailored services and resources to address the unique needs of Canada's Black businesses, unlocking success for so many. This includes success to help them get access to direct funding or capital. It helps them with mentorship, financial planning services, capacity building, and business training. As I said earlier, I announced 10 projects at $23 million. So now this ecosystem includes across the country over 50 ecosystem organizations and partners. I really do believe that the Black Entrepreneurship Program is going to be game changer. It's a game changer. It's a game changer because it will create generational wealth for Black Canadians. And I can't think of a more important time than be able to talk about this during Black History Month. And just very finally, to the incredible young people that we have here today, I encourage you to all continue in your leadership. We're all inspired and we're made better thanks to your leadership. We all have a role to play as a community coming together to support youth. I know that I'm committed to working with all of you along with the city and the mayor and the leadership across Markham. And as your member of parliament, I can't be more proud. So to the City of Markham and to the entire organizing team for putting all of this together, including MACCA and who I just saw last evening. This is really terrific. Thank you so much for having me here today. And I look forward to seeing what you will all accomplish. And again, happy Black History Month.
Thank you so much, Minister Ng, for the inspiring news. And thank you so much for continuing to support Black communities through your office and through the voices that come to your office. We're really appreciative. And now I'd like to invite Mr. Andy Taylor, our Chief Administrative Officer at the City of Markham, to bring his greetings from the City of Markham. Mr. Taylor is also going to share some inspiring news that we are continuing to have here at the City of Markham. So Mr. Taylor, the floor is yours. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Joanne. And thank you everyone for joining us this evening. I'm very honored to be with you tonight to celebrate Black History Month here in the City of Markham. And I want to thank the Markham Public Library, MACCA, the Markham African Caribbean Canadian Association, and indeed the Mayor's Black Youth Liaison Committee for collaborating and leading our celebration and discussion tonight. This is a very important event, and it's an ongoing annual event we should all be very proud to be part of. In today's event, which is under the leadership of our library CEO, Catherine Biss, who spoke earlier, and our diversity, equity, and inclusion specialist, Joanne Kinga Baker, we are hoping to take meaningful steps to give representation to the Black community. That's very important. Representation matters. And to address challenges and indeed to create new and more fulfilling opportunities. Joanne has just been with the City of Markham for a very short time, but she's been a very important addition to the City of Markham and our team here. And she is currently executing, as the Mayor mentioned, an update to our city's diversity action plan and our anti-Black racism plan, two very important documents that we will be presenting to Council later this year. We've conducted through this update a series of community consultations, including Black-focused opportunities and discussions, and we have received over 1,100 community survey responses. So it's quite an overwhelming response to our survey. We were very impressed by the overall community engagement and the quality of the responses we got. They were very thoughtful, and this feedback will ultimately play a large role in shaping our new diversity action plan on a go-forward basis. So we're very pleased with the engagement we had, and again, I said the quality as well as the quantity, but really that quality of the thoughtfulness that we received from the community and indeed the Black community specifically. And as Chief Administrative Officer here at the city, I take it very seriously, my responsibility to ensure that every, and I mean every member of our staff feels both welcome and included, because our success as an organization hinges on our ability to provide a safe, inclusive, and welcoming space. And as you know, Markham is one of Canada's most diverse communities. And with that comes a lot of responsibility. We want to ensure that the makeup of our city staff reflect the community we represent. And led by our Mayor Scarpitti, and members of council, we recognize the importance of enacting positive change to better reflect the makeup of our community. And this diversity action plan will provide important data and suggestions on how to better reflect the residents we serve. The updated diversity action plan is anchored in the city's larger strategic plan, Building Markham's Future Together, which is to ensure the meaningful integration with the 4 pillars of building Markham's future, which will support its ongoing relevance. We know, I know, we have to do better. And through events like this, we are inspired to do better. In recent months, we announced new initiatives to improve representation from members of the Black, Indigenous, and other marginalized communities. Markham's Fire and Emergency Services entered into a unique agreement aimed at enhancing inclusion while reducing participation barriers for Black, Indigenous, and racialized Markham students who wish to build a career in firefighting. We have also just recently announced several additions to our senior leadership team that are reflective of the makeup of our community. We will be proactive in reaching out to the Black community to inform them of employment and internship opportunities with the City of Markham. This commitment we make to you is immediate and something we are working on currently. Our approach aligns with the vision of the Coalition of Inclusive Municipalities, which is a vision to build communities where everyone has an equal chance in participating in our economic, political, social, cultural, and recreational life, and to thrive there. And we are pleased to have been a signatory to this coalition since 2009. And events like this evening are a great example of the ongoing and strong partnerships between the city and the Black community to showcase Black excellence, celebrate Black achievement, and give representation. So thank you to our staff and for MACCA for once again organizing this event, and I look forward to the program. I look forward to hearing from our leaders of the future, musicians, and the keynote speaker. So again, thank you for having me here tonight, and have a very wonderful and meaningful celebration. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Taylor. Thank you for reminding us about the importance of representation, for reminding us that everybody matters, and also really reminding us that unity is important. It's an important ingredient to foster further relations with each other. And I'm thinking about a quote by Malcolm X that says that we need more light about each other. Light creates understanding, understanding creates love, love creates patience, and patience creates unity. And this is really what we are striving for here at the City of Markham. So speaking of community, I would love to invite the president of MACCA, the Markham African Caribbean Canadian Association, Lisa Joy Facey, to take on this next part where we're celebrating Black excellence in the community, acknowledging and recognizing some really important Black Canadians that continue to make history. Lisa Joy, over to you.
Thank you, Joanne, and good evening, everyone. Tonight, we acknowledge we have 7 nominees that came directly from the community, the work of in Markham and its extension in York region, and even to a wider extent. This program, this collaboration that we have with the City of Markham is going on over 3 decades old. So this was something from the inception of Mayor Cousins, and it has continued to today. So you are part of a wonderful group of people who have worked hard for your community, sometimes without recognition, and even sometimes in the face of criticism as you have done your job. And tonight we just want to tell you thank you once again for all your hard work. So we'll begin with our first awardee for the night, Anthony Abahamhen, and he is the current president and the first Black president of the Rotary Club of Markham Unionville. And his nomination came in and they highlighted the fact that he had organized a major food drive for the Markham Food Bank, as well as supporting 3 local Markham schools with school supplies. So we thank Anthony in a special way. I ask you all to stay on, don't go anywhere, because we'll be taking some photos at the end. Then our next nominee candidate is Candy Erin Alexander. And Candy has a very unique experience working or being an alumni of the York Catholic District School Board. And her contribution has been in helping students with an after-school program that was provided for free to help kids with reading and with literacy and math. And she continues to contribute to the community in that capacity. Second, we have, and this nominee is Joel Chutitsu, and he is with the superintendent with the secondary school. This was the first year that I had a nominee that I think we got over 15 persons nominating this one individual. And I got the pleasure of hearing from him at the YRAC event over the weekend. And he's a phenomenal gentleman, so well-deserved, sir, and all your work that you have done in championing anti-Black racism programs within the York District School Board and outside as well. Secondly, we go on to PC Ava Griffith, and she's has a long career in serving the community, not just as a police constable, but she spent 20 years in the city of Toronto, helping women who were in need. And we thank you for your service as it continues, even with serving this community of Markham. We're going down the list. We have PC Karen Chen, and she spent over 17 years with District 5. And I'm told that she's very active in our Canada Day celebrations and other community outreach events. And she's their current youth engagement officer. And we have a young person that was recommended by her teacher, and that's Jada Hunter. And her contribution to the community has been significant, even in the small sphere of her school, where she was able to organize or bring new life, I should say, to her club, or African Caribbean club, and even instigated a special program to focus on Black heritage for Black Heritage Month this year. And finally, in this foreign community nominees is Nakima Walker. And she serves on the board of directors for the Maple Childcare. And she's very active on the board in York Region District School Board as a parent. And she is also a Black-owned businesswoman with a transportation company that serves York Region as well. So thank you very much. And tonight we also have two very special mentions that we want to pay tribute to as well. And these persons, Pat Howell, have been around from the inception of this program, from the very beginning, when this collaborative venture for Black history and recognizing the members of our community and contributions that they have made. And we wanted to specially recognize her and the work that she has done for the organization and for the community at large, along with Clive Hilton, also a former president of the Markham African Caribbean Canadian Association. We want to specially make recognition of their contributions tonight to keeping this program going and to be inspiring young people to take the mantle on and continue the good work. Thank you. I will hand over to Maxine Roy, who is going to take care of the photos tonight.
Thank you very much, Lisa Joy. So I will be calling upon the award recipients that Lisa Joy just named in the order that your names were called in the presentation that we just shared. So I'll get our friends at the library to please help me spotlight as I call the names as well. So Mr. Mayor, I know you're very well versed in smiling and looking at the camera and kind of staying in that frame for a few seconds. So we'll continue to do that again in true virtual fashion. So I'd like to first call upon Anthony Abuhaman. If we can please spotlight Anthony. And one other housekeeping item, if we don't mind, if anyone else is not in the photo right now, so other than Mr. Mayor and Anthony, if you can kindly turn your cameras off for now, just so it's easier to find and spotlight folks.
Sorry, Anthony's camera needs to be on just for me to spotlight. Okay, perfect.
Hi, Anthony. Congratulations.
Okay, Anthony, I don't know if you are very much attached to your glasses. We are getting a bit of a glare for the photo. Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. So if I can just have you smiling and looking at the camera, I'll give you a countdown from 3, 2, 1, smile. I'll ask that you please hold that smile and then we'll move on to the next photo. Okay. So please smile in 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you very much. We'll just take that one last time. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you very much, Anthony.
Great to see Anthony. Congratulations.
So Anthony, if you may please turn your camera off, and we'd like to call up Candy Erin Alexander.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Candy Aaron. Congratulations. Thank you for your great work.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you very much. So in 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you. One more time. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you very much, Candy Erin.
Thank you.
I'd now like to call up Joel Chutzi.
Hey, Joel. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you very much. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you. One more time. 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you very much, Joel. I'd now like to call upon Police Constable Ava Griffith.
There you are. Thank you. Congratulations.
In 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you. One more time. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you very much, PC Griffith.
Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Now, I'm not sure if we have Police Constable Karen Chen in the room as well. Okay, I'm just checking the attendees here. Okay, I don't immediately see her here, so we will move on to the next one. PC Chen, if you are in the room, if you can kindly just type that you are in the chat and we can come back to you. I'd like to call in Jada Hunter, please.
Hi, Jada. Congratulations. Great to see you again.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you one more time. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Perfect. Thank you very much, Jada. Up next, we have Nakima Walker.
Good evening, everyone.
Keemeth, thank you for all your great work.
Thank you.
And you're still at work, it looks like.
My home office.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you one more time. 3, 2, 1, smile. Great. Thank you very much, Nakima.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call up Eileen Pat Howell, please. Okay.
Just before we take the picture, I would be remiss. These next two individuals, MACCA has been a partner of ours for many years in putting together the Black History Month celebrations. But when we talk about MACCA, these two are the foundation and they're the pillars, and they've just done some amazing work over the years. I know, Pat, you've been the president over different years, having done it for a long run and then coming back to be president again. And one of the most successful programs that you were a big supporter of was that Saturday school program and the summer reading program, really helping kids reach their full potential in our community. And you've just provided some amazing leadership. MACCA would not be what it is today if it wasn't for you and Clive, and I know others, but truly both of you are the foundation and pillars of this organization. And I thank you. Your work, as you can see, not only tonight, but it truly has had an impact in so many lives, particularly the scholarship program that allowed young Black youth to be supported to pursue their post-secondary education. So we have more than a certificate for you. We've got this beautiful award. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Okay, so if you can please kindly smile and look at the camera in 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you one more time. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you very much, Pat. Now, I just see a note in the chat. Police Constable Karen Chen is here in the room. Are we able to find her and please spotlight her? Sorry, Evelyn, are you able to find her on the screen?
I do not see her.
Okay, in the meantime, while you're looking, if I can please call upon Clive Hilton.
Hi, Clive. Again, just thank you so much for your decades of dedication to MACCA, well, to youth. I know you loved coaching many sports, and really you were able to continue on your passion for youth and seeing them succeed through all the great work that you did with MACCA, particularly fundraising, giving the dollars that were needed and raising the dollars that were needed for that Saturday school program, for the scholarships that MACCA has handed out for so many years. And also say, for the great work that you did as an auxiliary police officer with York Regional Police as well. Anytime you wore the uniform, you made the organization proud. So thank you for the great leadership and for all the work and the many, many hours that you dedicated to MACCA and youth in our community. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marin Clive. So if you can please smile and look at the camera in 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you. One more time. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you very much. That's great. So apologies, we're just trying to find out some troubleshooting to get PC Karen Chen here. PC Chen, I'm not sure if you signed in as an attendee. If you didn't, I don't think we'd be able to take your photo. So maybe if you can just kindly confirm on your end that you did attend with the Zoom link, and we can try to get you in. I'll be turning the virtual microphone over to Adisa right now, but there will be another series of photos. So I'll just keep an eye on the chat, PC Chen. Thank you very much. So Adisa, with that said, over to you.
All right. Hello, guys. I will be introducing the Mayor of Markham's Black Youth Liaison Committee, which was formed to advance the City of Markham's strategy to combat anti-Black racism. We have since taken the steps to better integrate Black youth into the heart of Markham's community in order to foster more positive engagement all around. Will all of the members of our Black Youth Liaison Committee please turn on their cameras so that we may take a photo together? Please let me know if it's lagging.
Just a kind reminder to folks that are not in the Mayor's Black Youth Liaison Committee, if you can kindly turn your cameras off just for now while we can get the photo. Adisa, does it look like we have our folks here?
A few may be missing.
Okay, so right now I see 5 on my screen. Are we good to proceed with the photo?
Alexis is currently okay. So I believe we are ready if everyone else is.
Okay, great. So I'm going to count down. We'll probably take a few photos just because there's a few more folks on the Zoom right now. So please smile and look at the camera. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Just really quickly, Hanifa, I'm getting a little bit of a glare on your glasses. Did you want to remove them or just try to sit at a different angle? Oh, thank you so much. Okay, let's try that again. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you. And one last time. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Perfect. Thank you very much.
And I just want to say thank you to all members of the Mayor's Black Youth Liaison Committee. It was wonderful to be able to interview you prior to your appointment and just to get to know just what an incredible group you are and doing work in your own areas of interest in the school and the community. And I just hope we get you to be showcased more through other events as well. So just keep up the great work and thank you. You inspire all of us.
Adisa, I'm just going to turn the virtual microphone over to you. I believe before we get into our speakers in the program, we will be doing one other quick photo. I'll just like you make that introduction.
Next, we will be introducing the BYR Youth group, which is a group of activists and public speakers that places great importance on youth empowerment, Black excellence, and speaking your truth. It was founded in 2020 by secondary teacher and activist Vanessa Stobie, along with 4 youth named Sydney Baxter, Rachel Chen, Hannah Mullins Tatum, and Cameron Davis. Their objective is to dismantle discrimination of all forms within the York region and beyond. May they please turn on their camera to take their photos.
Thank you for your initiatives as well.
Thank you very much. So in 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you one more time. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Adisa, over to you.
All right, so next we will be having the speakers of the BYR Youth for their motivational speeches. First, we have Cameron Davis. Next, we have Kayla Wren, and then we have Elena Escrofty.
Picture this. A Black boy is born in a world that makes decisions about who he is from the moment he arrives. He's labeled a troublemaker at a young age, but he refuses to let this hinder his ambition. At the age of 9, his father dies, but he doesn't let this stop him. And as he gets older, he speaks out about the social injustice he faces and demands equity. Because of this, he's sent to prison. After all of this pain and suffering, the fire in his stomach remains. He won't let anything stop him from making a change. He dreams of not only bettering himself, but his country. He wants to implement an idea that would have a lasting global impact. This man was Nelson Mandela, and he is the example of the type of person I aspire to be. Someone who isn't discouraged and continues to fight for what they believe in, because they hope that they could change the world for the better. Good evening, Markham. My name is Cameron Davis. I'm a 17-year-old student activist in the York region. In 2022, I wrote a speech at a Black Lives Matter protest here in Markham that went viral. In it, I addressed the stresses I faced just trying to be a kid in my community. Since then, I've co-founded BYR Youth. I represented Canada at the Children's General Assembly in Denmark, and I've started my own clothing brand, 721merch.ca, which raises money for disenfranchised youth and aims to unify the world through clothing. I also use my YouTube platform, CamED, to take my message of unity through travel around the world. My goal is to give resources to youth that help them reach their fullest potential. I want to help them reach the seats that are making the decisions. I want to give them power. I'm also an optimist. I realize that given the times we're in, optimism can be hard to come by. 2 pandemics, worsening climate change, an increase in prevalence of hate speech, it can all have a negative effect on all of us. But what we can't do as Black youth and allies in Markham is let this get the best of us. What we can do as parents, teachers, administrators, and government leaders in Markham is to slow our ambition on building a community that serves us all. Although it is crucial that we reflect on the problems we are and have faced, I would also advise you to think about the solutions. This Black History Month is a chance to start something new, to push the concept of Black futures beyond the 28 days of February and into the rest of the year. This isn't to say that we forget and stop promoting Black history during Black History Month. That would be a mistake. The spotlight that shines on Black history in February is often the only spotlight on Black success and achievement that most people get to see. What we must do is create more opportunities to shine that light. We must share Black history, Canadian history, while acknowledging the fact that Black history is still being made. We need to acknowledge Black history, yes, but also Black present and Black future. For me and so many other youth who aspire to greatness, Black History Month is an opportunity to be reminded, refueled, and reinvigorated. And this year has been no different. As February comes to an end, it warms my heart to see all of the excellence within the Black community. Youth activists, content creators, entrepreneurs, athletes, musicians, this month has outdid itself once again in showcasing the amazing things Black people can accomplish. This community offers me as much to aspire to as Nelson Mandela does. I hope that I can continue to remind you that there's room for all of us to inspire and lead. And I hope that you will all join me in doing so. Thank you for your time and happy Black History Month.
That was wonderful. Thank you, Cameron. Next, we have Kayla Escoffery.
Hi, my name is Kayla Escoffery, and first I would like to thank the City of Markham for allowing me to talk about a topic that is very close to my heart. When I heard the main message of today's celebration was inspiration, I first started off by thinking, what inspires me? It then reminded me of a show that I previously finished binging, which was a sitcom with the main character being a Black woman. To describe her, she was goofy, genuine, and most importantly, she was able to make mistakes. After finishing this show, I was left with a little bit of sadness because now I had to look for a new show to binge. But I was left with the idea of being inspired by the main character to allow myself to feel like the main character of my own life. The main character of the show looked like me, and showed people that look like me can be the main character of their own stories, which inspired me in 2022 to look at it as an opportunity to be the main character of my own life and make myself a priority, and assure that I try to look for new adventures and new experiences. This main character of this show looked like me and showed that people who look like me can be the main character of their own stories. I could also relate to her, which made me even sure that my voice mattered. To get to the point, my main belief is that in order for us to feed the idea of inspiration and to motivate youth, we need to let youth see themselves in media. Allow youth to feel represented and heard. Give youth good representation. But what is even good representation? Specifically, what is good Black representation? I believe good representation starts with the understanding that it is difficult to represent one group of people, with the understanding that you cannot represent one group of individuals, with the underlying of intersectionality, different experiences, and personalities. As Black people, there is not only one way to act. We are diverse in ourselves, which makes us even more beautiful. Understanding this concept gives people who sought out to create representation an idea that one person cannot represent a whole group. And the idea of tokenism, although sounds like a genuine idea, does not do proper representation justice. Good representation also starts with 3D dimensional characters who demonstrate multiple emotions or are not put into a particular box. Having tropes like the Black best friend, support system, who is the support system of white main characters and nothing more, is a box that allows characters to be nothing less. And it reflects to Black audiences that they must stay in this box. When it's repeated over and over again, this trope becomes stale and tiring. Lastly, particularly, Black representation ends with the understanding that media does not only need to focus on our trauma. Black people as a whole are more than their trauma. Personally, I'm tired of seeing films that are filled with Black trauma and generally feel that the media needs to start looking for Black representation in genres like fantasy and science fiction. Black Panther, a Marvel movie that showcases the beauty of African culture and simply is a superhero movie that highlights Black excellence, is an example that movies like that are possible, but also in high demand. When back in 2019, it broke records and won awards. When we are able to understand what good representation is, it allows people to be inspired. One, like I said before, people see themselves as the main characters of their own stories on taking on the world. Two, it opens generations to a number of possibilities of what they can do, from their careers to the spirit of anything is possible. Three, it allows people to feel heard and seen in society that they are often overlooked in, which is critical and crucial for youth's self-esteem. This whole thing sounds like good fun, but where does the work begin for good representation? It starts by behind the scenes in writer rooms and boardrooms, making sure that diversity is the goal in media and having people of those marginalized identities take point in creating characters. Leading to my next point, it also comes with taking a chance to listen to those marginalized people and giving them an opportunity to showcase their talents and knowledge on the matter. Representation is something I'm very passionate about. And I think one of the main reasons is I know it is achievable in media. We see in progression throughout time, so I'm not asking for much, but I'm asking that we can do more as a society. We can do better to make sure that people have the necessity of being seen. Thank you.
That was very eye-opening. Thank you, Kayla. And our final motivational speaker will be Elena Ren.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me this evening. My name is Elena Rennie. I am so honored to be here tonight. I am a high school student in the York Region District School Board and currently reside in Georgina, Ontario, which is a small town in York Region. In my short time with you, I'm going to be speaking about the importance of allyship. As someone that is not a Black youth, it is very important to me that I take February as a time to educate myself on the past, the present, and the future of Black excellence. It's important to me that I educate myself on my history and what has happened in our country and countries all across the world. For those of you who don't know, allyship is when somebody works in solidarity and partnership with other marginalized groups to help break down barriers and combat issues that other groups experience. It is extremely, extremely important to recognize your own privileges and use it to influence positive change within your communities. Use it as a tool, not as an excuse. Allyship is important in order to challenge systemic barriers based on race, gender, sexuality, religion, age, ability, and more. Allies are those who use their voice to speak up for the voiceless. Through allyship, you lift up others, share growth, listen to other stories, and recognize the systematic inequalities. It is important that if you're going to call yourself an ally, that you recognize the power that that title holds. To many, they can call themselves an ally because they think it's just a word, but in fact, it is so much more than that. Calling yourself an ally comes with the work. Calling yourself an ally comes with the responsibilities of doing more and doing better. You must be prepared to do the work. Anybody can be an ally, and anybody can be an ally for any topic or group that they feel most passionate about. For me, being a part of BYR Youth, Black York Region Youth as an ally has really opened my eyes to so many incredible experiences. I've had the opportunity to speak on CBC Radio after the renaming of Vaughan Secondary School to Hodon Nalia Secondary School. I've also had the opportunity to be featured in the Toronto Star speaking on my activism and education in Ontario. BYR Youth is such an incredible organization, and I am grateful every day to be part of such empowering youth and youth that continue to teach me more about myself and my activism every single day. Like I said, anybody can be an ally. And if you are wondering at home how you can better your allyship and further your allyship, I have 5 tips for you. 1 is to listen.
Listen to others' stories, what they have to say, and their experiences. Number 2, educate yourself and others. Educate yourself is the most important tip out of all these 5 because it is where your allyship starts. 3, don't be afraid to ask questions. It is better to ask the questions that you're curious about or do the research instead of assuming. 4, keeping an open mind about a variety of topics, even if you might not understand them or agree. And finally, number 5, recognizing your own privilege and the privilege that you have as an individual. For me, during Black History Month, I am a white youth. I have the privilege of being a white cisgender woman in my community. And with that, I use it for good by trying to combat anti-Black racism, systemic racism, and discrimination of all forms through BYR Youth and my other work outside. Thank you all so much for the time, and happy Black History Month.
That was very lovely. Thank you, Elena. And I will be passing it on to Joanne.
Thank you so much. That was really inspiring. Representation, allyship, listening, partnership, community. A wise woman in Markham said, we need to listen to the youth more. We need to give them voices. We also need to create spaces for them. This wise woman is Marianne Chambers, and I'm not so sure if she's in the room today, but Marianne inspired us to continue having this conversation by holding us accountable to this, and we thank you so much. So we're going to move on to our next item, but before we do, I have a trivia question for you all. And the first 2 responses to respond to this question on diversity@markham.ca will receive a prize, and I will let you know what that prize is. The first question, and remember, you have to email to get the prize, is what was the name of Canada's first and only all-Black battalion? What was the name of Canada's first and only all-Black battalion? Please respond to that question by emailing diversity@markham.ca, and you will receive a prize. First 2 responses will receive a prize. The second question is, you know what? I'm going to wait to say the next question. So without further ado, we're going to move on to our next part, and I would love to introduce you to our performer today. Our performer is Aria Zanua. She is a professional vocal performer and songwriter with over 10 years experience. Aria's passion for singing has landed her opportunities performing in Motown, tribute bands, weddings, corporate and private events around the world. In 2018, Aria fused her love for music with her love for children and launched her own business called The Teeny Tinies. And this is a children's music initiative built on a foundation of positive messaging and wellness. And today, Aria, we are going to invite you to share some of your music with us. And everybody else, stay tuned because we have another speaker right after this. Aria, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I was able to tune in and listen to everyone speak because it just fueled me full of inspiration. And I'm going to pour it into this song, which I'm sure everyone is familiar with. I'm going to pour it all in. And although we're all muted, I will trust that you are singing with passion along with me, even though we're doing this virtually. I'm going to go ahead and trust that you're singing this with me. All right. Rise up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds were sitting by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, her melodies pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. So don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna So don't worry about a thing. Worry about a thing, cause every little thing will be alright. Rise up this morning. Can we snap our fingers? Smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds were sitting by my doorstep, singing a melody is pure and singing. This is my message to you. Yeah. All right. So I chose this song from Bob Marley because Bob Marley's songs always have a powerful message, and this one definitely rings true. No matter if we're looking into our past or into our future, you know, the message of don't worry about a thing. There's a lot we could stress about and worry about, and there's a lot to be grateful for. So right now, as we're celebrating our youth, we're celebrating our community, I would love for everybody to join in on this last chorus as we sing it together from our hearts, that no matter what we're going through, we will always rise above, we will always celebrate and appreciate even the smallest of things, and always rise and push for growth in ourselves and in one another. So here we go. Say, don't worry about a thing. Worry about a thing, cause every little thing gonna be alright. I love it, Pat. So don't worry, yeah, about a thing. Cause every little thing gonna be alright. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm sending so much love to everybody here tonight and appreciation.
Thank you so much for that beautiful reminder. With everything going on in the world, sometimes we just need to be okay. Adisa.
Yes, thank you very much for that song. It was lovely. Also, I wore a Bob Marley shirt because I heard you were gonna be performing his songs.
I love it.
That's amazing. And it was Bob Marley's birthday a couple of weeks ago, so that was a really great tribute to Bob Marley. So now we're going to move on to the part we've been excited for and waiting for. It's been such a great evening, and we have our keynote speaker in the room with us today. And remember when I said we have some prizes to be won? Well, we have purchased a couple of these books, Trailblazers, and Tiana is the author, also our guest speaker for tonight. And we will be giving a copy of this book to some of the responses that we receive today. So super excited about that. And I would love to introduce Tiana if we could bring her up. Tiana Ridley Padmore is a storyteller, an equity and inclusion strategist, and she's also the director of Counter Story Press, a not-for-profit organization that works with schools, artists, and organizations to encourage more equitable storytelling. In 2020, she authored Trailblazers, The Black Pioneers Who Have Shaped Canada, a best-selling children's book published by Indigo Press. Tiana is the co-chair of the Cooperation Canada's Anti-Racism Task Force and a member of Ryerson University's Presidential Implementation Committee to confront anti-Black racism. She has delivered hundreds of talks and workshops on topics related to social inclusion and holds equity training, and also covers the topics of diversity and inclusion. She has an MA in Public Policy and Administration from York University and a Bachelor of Political Science from the University of Ottawa. Tiana, we are super excited to have you on here today, and we're really looking forward to hearing you and your story, and to also hear about your book. So everybody, welcome Tiana.
Thank you, Joanne, for that welcome. Thank you, everybody, for having me this evening. This is the type of event that I want to be a part of. I was listening in and I was watching and I was feeling excited and I was feeling fueled. This is the type of event that I want to pay attention to. I believe that we pay attention to the things that are important to us, and what we pay attention to becomes important. I want to say that again. We pay attention to the things that are important to us, and what we pay attention to becomes important. So the characters that are represented on our TV screens, the stories that are memorialized in our books, the people that are honored in our awards, these all tell us about whose stories, whose experiences, whose achievements are worth celebrating and honoring and knowing and protecting. And I think that the stories that have been shared here today are worth knowing and honoring and celebrating and protecting. You know, I started writing stories when I was really young. I was about 6 years old, and I would go to the family printer and I would grab sheets of paper and I'd fold them up, lots and lots of sheets of paper. And then I would draw and I would write these little stories. And I was always the main character. Some variation of myself was the main character. And I would color myself in with different shades of orange and brown mixed because, you know, Crayola didn't recognize that nude extended beyond whiteness at the time. And I would go in and I would imagine myself as being the president of the country, or imagine myself as a magical, powerful witch, or I'd play with different stories with my hair and the powers that came from my hair. And I would go into class on Monday morning and I would share these stories that I had written with my classmates. I would invite my classmates into this world that I had created, and I would allow them to imagine a different world that was beyond their experiences. See, I grew up often not feeling represented in the books that I was reading and in the TV shows that I was watching. I love to read TV, I love to read books, I love to watch TV, but I didn't often see myself represented. I didn't see my family represented. I didn't see many of my friends represented. And I think that we pay attention to the things that are important to us, and what we pay attention to becomes important. And I felt that a different story was important and a different story was needed. So as I got older, I started to hear these little tidbits of information of stories that I had never been exposed to. I never knew that Blackness in Canada really mattered. I didn't even know that Canada had a Black history. You know, I knew that in the United States, that the States had this really rich and important Black history. I knew about Rosa Parks and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. But when it came to Canada, I didn't know that any of that mattered. I'd always been told either explicitly or implicitly that Black people had just arrived to Canada, that our histories didn't matter. In 2019, a global news poll found that 49% of Canadians didn't think that race in Canada mattered. And so as an adult, when I started to hear these tidbits of information, it shattered that idea, right? I heard about Matthew DaCosta, for one. Matthew DaCosta, who is the first Black man known to come to Canada. And he came in the 17th century, so hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And he arrived likely on the same boat as Samuel de Champlain, so on the same boat as some of the first colonizers that came to Canada. And Matthew was very talented. He spoke lots of different languages, English and French and Basque and Portuguese. And so he was able to use his talents to help mediate between the indigenous peoples that were here on Turtle Island and the French European colonists that were arriving. And so he likely helped smooth communications and reduce violent tensions. And yet when I flipped through the history books, when I flipped through the things I had learned as a child, Matthew's name did not come up, not once. We pay attention to the things that are important. And so I figured if Matthew's story hadn't made it into my books, there's likely many others that hadn't made it in either. And so I started to do research. I started on an intentional journey of learning and discovering and unlearning. And I found a lot. I learned a lot. I learned about slavery in Canada, sure, where for over 250 years, the labor of Black folk helped build our economy. I learned about segregation in Canada, sure, where up until for 146 years, up until about 50 years ago, there were still schools that were segregated and spaces where Black folk weren't allowed to enter by law or occupy by law. But in addition to the oppression and the trauma and the marginalization, I also learned about a lot of Black excellence. I learned about these incredible stories of trailblazers. I learned about these people whose creativity drove our innovation, whose bravery shaped our laws, whose labor built our economy, whose activism brought us to where we are today. I learned about Viola Desmond and Carrie Bess and Miss Jean Augustine and Harry Jerome and so many incredible, incredible trailblazers. And I thought, wow, these stories are worth celebrating and knowing and protecting. We pay attention to the things that are important to us, and what we pay attention to becomes important. And that's what led me to write Trailblazers, because I felt that these stories were important. I felt that these stories were worth celebrating and knowing and honoring. And these were the stories of 40 incredible change makers who really brought us to where we are today. And I've had the pleasure since the Trailblazers came out in November 2021 to be able to share it with so many people, to be able to go on lots of different talks. And I always find it really interesting to hear what people have to say. And in one of my talks, a student called me a trailblazer and asked me how it felt to be a trailblazer. And that was very uncomfortable for me. You know, I had never considered myself to be a trailblazer, and it was hard to wrap my head around it. You know, for one, I'm so young. And I think that when I think about a trailblazer and I think about their impact, it's hard to imagine that for myself. From where I'm standing, it's easy to look back and to see the trails that incredible leaders before me have paved the way so that I could get here. And from where I'm standing, it's easy to look forward and to see a sea of uncertainty and imagine what could become of our future. But for some reason, it's really, really difficult to pause, to take a beat and to look down and to see the ways in which the work that I'm doing, the things that I'm doing, the actions that I'm taking, the things that I'm saying are laying the steps and helping to lay down the bricks that are continuing to build the path forward for our futures, right? That idea that history is in the making right now, that Black history is history and history is now, and that we actively have the power to shape the future of tomorrow. I think that being called a trailblazer was really uncomfortable for me, to sit in this space and to know that the things that I'm doing matter. The things that we do right now matter. We're in this undetermined space where almost any potential future is possible right now. And that's scary, because it means that our actions matter, but that's also exciting because it means that our actions matter. It means that any potential possible future is possible. And we're in this unique moment of opportunity. It is wholly and entirely up to us whether or not things get better. And that means that we each have an important role to play. Jelani Cobb said that anytime we've seen societal change, it's because a large number of people were making small differences in their own way until the tide shifted and they were able to make larger societal change. And you can be one of those people. So today, tomorrow, this month, and every day is about knowing where we came from in order to know where we want to go. It's about picking up the bricks, the shovels, and the torches that have been left from the trailblazers before us, and continuing to build upon the path that we have had the privilege to walk on. So I want to leave you with the introduction poem to Trailblazers. And I wrote this poem because as much as this book is a love letter and an anthology and a way to celebrate and honor and preserve the histories of the people who came before us, it's also a roadmap for us and about where we can go. And I'm hoping that this event, that this moment, that this month, that this time that we find ourselves in is inspiring you to help pick up those torches and continue on that path. Dear reader, Canada didn't just let you in, you actually helped to build it. Indigenous peoples cared for their land and many others filled it. So this book is a way to express our thanks and unwavering admiration for the pioneers who paved the way and changed the entire nation. These leaders are beacons of freedom, embodying strength through adversity. They offer a testament to the breadth of Canada's rich diversity. This is the story of a few heroes who have remained unsung, but there are so many, many more than these. The story has just begun. From activists, athletes, and artists to community leaders and teachers, I hope in this book you see yourself and find some common features. And when it's your turn to make your mark, glass ceilings, you will shatter because you are brave and special and true, and especially because you matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tiana. That was lovely.
That was beautiful. What a beautiful event, Disa, hey? Like everything has just been so inspiring and everyone's been super inspiring. We are about to close, but before we do, we finally located PC Chen, and we would be happy to invite the mayor and PC Chen to take a photo. And then we will come back and close the event. So stick around, folks. There's one more question and another prize.
Let me just grab the certificate here.
Absolutely. Evelyn, if you're able to highlight PC Chen.
Yeah, PC Chen, if you can just go ahead and turn on your camera again. Perfect.
I'm glad we got you here. I know you were here in one form or another, so I'm just glad we're able to see you, and thank you for the great work that you do.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so again, I'll just give a quick countdown. If you can please just remain smiling at the camera. Thank you very much. In 3, 2, 1, smile. One more time. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Perfect. Thank you very much, PC Chen. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Congratulations.
That concludes the official photo session now. So with that, I'd like to hand it back over to Joanne.
Okay, thank you so much. I have one more question for you all. Remember, please send your response to diversity@markham.ca. The first couple of responses, I'm going to be generous, are going to receive a copy of Trailblazers. This is an amazing book. It's good for everyone, really everyone, all ages. Like Tiana said, our history is Canadian history. And so the question is, and listen carefully, folks, in 1967, 10 people from Toronto, all with a common West Indian heritage, founded this popular cultural festival. In 1967, 10 people from Toronto, all with a common West Indian heritage, founded this popular cultural festival. Let's get those responses coming in, diversity@markham.ca, and the first couple of responses will receive this book, and we will organize how to get it to you. So that was wonderful, folks. It was such an incredible evening, and we really enjoyed spending time with you, listening to the youth, getting inspired, listening to our leaders in the community as well. And so I just want to say thank you so much to all our speakers. Thank you so much for motivating us and inspiring us. I want to thank our performers as well. And I really just want to give a very special thanks to our youth. And so I'll close this by passing this along to Adisa to thank our community collaborators, and we will wish you all a wonderful evening. One more thing before I hand this over to you, Adisa, I also want to give a shout out to YRP. YRP also have their Black History Month event right after this one, so please be sure to check out the YRP Black History Month event. All right, Adisa, over to you.
Thank you, Joanne. I actually just sent in my own answer to win that book for my younger siblings. And I would like to thank you all for attending. It's been lovely having you and hearing you all speak. And I want to say congratulations to all of the award winners. And all of you guys are wonderful members of the community. Thank you so much for coming to our event. And happy Black History Month.
Thank you so much, folks. If you have any questions or you want to connect further with myself, with the city, please email me at diversity@markham.ca, and I would be really happy to connect with you on a one-on-one level. Otherwise, folks, it is 7 o'clock. Have a wonderful night and take care. Bye-bye.